So we have arrived once again to another full moon. Over 30 years of gathering on the full moon to direct our prayers and meditations towards the healing and protection and renewal of Mother Earth. Most of you know me, I'm Cynthia Jurs, and I want to start by just inviting the bell just to bring us into this present moment on this profoundly exciting full moon call. Breathing with you, my friends, as we conspire together, breathing in and breathing out this life force energy of Mother Earth. It keeps us alive, keeps her alive, keeps all the animals and trees and plants and rivers and waters alive. So welcome once again to this full moon call. This call is, as always, dedicated to bringing healing and protection and renewal to the earth, as I said. And as you know, the practice of the earth treasure vases came to us from Charok Rinpoche, the 106-year-old Lama living in a cave in Nepal back in 1990, when I asked him, what can we do to bring healing and protection to the earth? And he said one person, even just one person, can bring benefit to the whole area around where they live. But you need to get these earth treasure vases and you need to put them in the ground and they will do that work. And so we have done that. I have done that, and many of you here in the call have also done that. And we have built a global community dedicated to this practice and to being vessels ourselves for healing in our lives and in the world. So it's been an incredible journey. And tonight we are initiating a treasure vase that has been in my heart for a very, very long time. In fact, it brings emotion rising to the surface when I say that. I know that I had lifetimes in Greece, as many of you probably also feel that. It's just this sense of connection to some ancient knowing and remembering of something we can barely even put our fingers on most of the time. But I went there the first time when I was 9, and it changed my life then. And then I went back when I was 15, and it changed my life again in powerful ways. I loved, as a child, a young woman, the mythic dimension and the stories from that mythic dimension that so deeply spoke to me. But always there was an awareness of also the shadow side of ancient Greek culture, the distressing, stories of all the gods coming down and raping the women, raping the beautiful nymphs in the woods by the streams in the forest and things like that. These stories spoke to me so deep. All the stories spoke to me, and the Greek gods and goddesses spoke to me. But there was this part of the stories that I couldn't quite reckon with, if you follow. And you know, Greek culture, this early Greek culture was really the rise of Western civilization, the beginnings, in a sense, of Western civilization. So we have, those of us in the West, and you know, I have been steeped in Buddhism, so very much oriented towards Eastern spirituality. But there is this root, this deep root that goes back such a long ways. And so at a certain point along the way of carrying out the treasure vases around the world, I realized that we had to take a treasure vase to Greece, to the origin of our connection in the West to Gaia. Because, of course, Gaia is the name of the Greek goddess for the earth, pre-patriarchal Greek goddess for the earth. And the site where Gaia herself was accessed was in Delphi. This was the site of the famous oracle, where people would come from all around the world to seek guidance from the priestesses who were trained in the oracular tradition, to access the wisdom literally of the earth through an opening in the earth, where they would receive the guidance and the wisdom in order to communicate that guidance to those who came to them. But that guidance, that wisdom, was coming directly from Gaia. And those priestesses, they were called the Pythia. Maybe most of you know these stories, but the Pythia, from the python, who was the offspring of Gaia and the protector of the oracle. So the priestesses were trained in this very earthy tradition, accessing Gaia's wisdom, appreciating the python, and so much more. But when the Greek gods and goddesses came to take root in the world, it was Apollo who slayed the python and took power over that site, that powerful site, and built a temple to himself upon that site. Now, of course, this has happened all over the world, where the church has come in, for example, and built churches on top of indigenous sites sacred to what was before, and then taking power over and oppressing the wisdom of the indigenous that was once there. So it's a familiar story. And when this happened, you know, that was when the earth's wisdom was overtaken, was destroyed, was shamed, was silenced. And the lack of regard for the feminine power became embedded in the story of what came next. And as you can see how it then played out over time, to where the earth as a living being has also, not just the women, but the earth has been abused and mistreated, poisoned, and raped. So this is why I was called to answer Gaia with a treasure vase for this place, to anchor this prayer that I carry and that so many of us also carry for restoration of the sacred feminine, restoration of the of our access to the wisdom and the beauty of Gaia in today's world, and to go with an offering to let her know that we have not forgotten what happened, that we are listening to her now in our own lives, in our own ways, and we are reclaiming this relationship and supporting each other in reclaiming this relationship, to listen to her, to be a voice for the oracle, to embody her in whatever way is called for today, in order to restore balance on Earth, in Earth, with Earth, for the sake of all life on Earth at this time when life is very precarious. So it's gone far enough, this story, and it's time to take a vase to Delphi. So that's what we're doing. And some of you on the call are actually coming with us. And I am personally so excited because this is a dream come true for me. It will be a very powerful healing journey for those of us who go. And it will be, such a fulfillment to be able to make this offering. So there's lots more I could say about the journey. Here to talk with you about it more if you want. But now I would like to invite Nikole Rosaria Manieri to share about her perspective about the pilgrimage. And I also am so moved and delighted to be able to introduce, after Nikole, my dear friend Sarah Drew, who is also going to be with us on the pilgrimage and is here tonight to share some words with you as well. So the three of us are collaborating to realize this prayer journey. And I want to introduce Nikole to you, even though many of you already know Nikole. She's been with us over the last year. She has become my close assistant in all things Gaia Mandala and Earth Treasure Vase Global Healing Community. But I have been deeply inspired and have come to know Nikole in other ways as well, which you may not know about. And that is that she is an artist and an educator with a background in cultural anthropology, whose special focus is on the living mythos of her ancestral lands of Sicily. And she has learned to live with her gifts coming from this ancestral lineage as a story singer or a cantastoria who weaves the dreamings of the land, the community, and the wombic ways, as she says, into ritualized musical verse in community. She has an incredible gift in this. And it is her studies of the traditional rhythms of Southern Italian tambourine and its connection to the ancient priestess and nymph rites in the Mediterranean basin that is so perfect for this particular journey. She teaches these rhythms and this medicine, the medicine of these rhythms to women, especially in the Italian diaspora, but not necessarily only in those women. And she is engaged in how to carry a lineage of medicine with integrity, which is something that I am also very deeply engaged with. So, Nikole, I wonder if you would like to speak to kind of the process that we're in leading up to the pilgrimage and the themes and threads that are being activated by this treasure vase and how we can all support its realization.
Thank you, Cynthia, for anchoring us all in here and kind of walking us through your journey and the understanding of the root there that in a way we're living into in the Western world. And so I would like to, I wasn't expecting you to introduce me in such a way, and that really, thank you for sharing those things, and that kind of spins me in a little bit of a different direction where, yeah, in the deepening of my own lineage work, both from the lens of the drum, of the frame drum, of Southern Italy, and its connection to the priestesshoods of the Mediterranean, where that great cultural crossroads that is North Africa and then Middle East, kind of Western Asia, Greece, and Southern Italy. That also, so a time, hearkening to a time, like a living thread to a time of when women's spiritual leadership was in the public domain, where they would oversee the rites of death and birth and healing. And they weren't afraid to use plants and pray over people in a communal setting. And before all of that kind of went underground, including women not being able to drum and that being forbidden. And yet, like all living, life-giving ways in many indigenous cultures, you find the ways to keep it hidden in plain sight. You find the ways to allow it to thrive warm hand to warm hand, mouth to ear, in the ways that you can. And some of these things have lived on. And so it's both through the drumming and through the bees that I find the quivering living threads that are also the resource, the medicine of that place. And so both in the bee tradition, as well as somatic trauma work, which I'm, work with, the lemniscate is really important. So whenever we're revealing what needs healed, touching into the trauma place, the intergenerational trauma place of the impacts of Western civilization, and the fragmentation of it. So when we touch on this side of the lemniscate, we always balance it with a resource. And we know that where the wound is revealed, the medicine is revealed. And so I see this in the way that we're tapping into a place that holds a very kind of epic collective in the Western world impact, both revealing a very deep core wound, but also I want to weave in that there's also a medicine embedded in there, and that's what we're dancing with and what we're retrieving and reclaiming while we're allowing that wound to be revealed in our own selves and supporting each other and how we've been impacted by that, and our ancestors have been impacted by that, what lives in our blood and bones around those stories that need healing and ask for healing through our vessels, but also the embodied deep time memories that are there too, that are awakening as we mirror that in one another. And as I see you and you see me, and we can remember together. And I know, because they were so prophetic, they knew a time was going to come when the excuse me, shitstorm would happen. The temples would be desecrated. They saw it coming, and they embedded the seeds and the threads and the living memories inside of all kinds of matter in the waters and the stones and the trees, in our blood and in our bones. So it's all here. It was Maggie the other day who said, oh, the gift is here. The gift is here. And we're remembering and we're awakening to it. So in this moment, I feel very present to, yes, we're going to be we touch into heavy stuff when we go here, as Cynthia named. And there's a celebratory aspect. There's a kind of joy because there's a reclamation of a kind of wholeness of who we are that is being accessed to. So I named that. And because I know it to be true, because I just feel the presence in my life and in my community and here with you. So in logistical terms, I just want to name about the Delphi dreaming hives, because we are aware, you know, some earth treasure vases are very quiet and have even a need for secrecy in their planting in order to stay safe. And they hold a very quiet power as they hold their node. Some vases have a very visible and are well known to many people, and they have, there's ways that many people connect to what it opens up. And we're aware that Delphi is one of those vases. So we want to create a space that as many of you that feel connected to the themes that are showing up here can have an opportunity to circle up and be in practice together around that. So that's how we see the virtual hives, hive space. And it's going to be similar in that we'll have an arrival, we'll have a guided visualization or meditation, we'll have opportunities for self-reflection, know thyself, as they say in Delphi as well, and group sharing and a group weaving. And it will definitely be infused with some of my deep work with the European bee animism tradition that claims its roots in Delphi with the priestesshood of the Melissae. So it will be infused with some of those motifs and concepts and practices that are very much about oracular embodiment. And there's invitations for some intentional dream work. It's all invitation and not obligation, but if you want to engage that there'll be some offerings around that. And maybe at the end, we'll eat a bunch of honey and then just weave all of our dreams into hexameter verse together. So that's, I think, what I'd like to share. So thank you. I'm thrilled to be in it with you.
Thank you so much, Nikole. It's so amazing to feel all that is being activated in you as we turn in this direction. And Nikole can post the link to join this Dreaming Hive if you're interested. So now I have the great joy to introduce to you my dear friend Sarah Drew, who I have known for, I think it's probably about a decade now, in various ways. She's a close sister and ally and a really beloved friend. She's also the visionary author of the eco-feminist novel, The Gaia Codex. And I'll just say that when I read the Gaia Codex myself, while it was still in manuscript form, I experienced a real kind of awakening reading this book. I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute, but Sarah is a mystic, mythologist. She majored in religious studies at UC Berkeley. Her work is rooted in the Bodhisattva vow and a committed cultivation of well-being for sentient life and the nourishment and regeneration of Mother Earth. Sarah has been really interested in catalyzing powerful blueprints for the future, deeply rooted in the gnosis of the past. And she teaches women and mentors women worldwide, and men for that matter, and everything in between, on topics ranging from feminine wisdom and evolutionary culture to regenerative technologies, which is an area that Sarah has quite a lot of knowledge and experience in. she's been a speaker at all kinds of incredible organizations, and I won't go into all of that, and been on lots of podcasts. You can find her online and learn more. But right now, I just am wanting very much to bring you forward, Sarah, because again, your writing of the Gaia Codex, it really was like a remembering. I think when I wrote my little endorsement, I actually spoke of it as a terma, which in the Tibetan tradition is like a revealed teaching. It carries a certain quality for some of us, many of us who've read it, to access this priestesshood that she describes in the book, that spans time and cultures, that is dedicated to caring for Gaia. And this book brought certainly a quickening to me in my path, my calling in relationship to her. So I'm so moved and happy that you're going to be coming with us on this pilgrimage, Sarah. Thank you so much. And I don't know what you want to share tonight, but I was hoping that it would come from that field of remembering that was catalyzed in you in writing Gaia Codex. So welcome to this community, Sarah.
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you, Cynthia, beautiful introduction. Nikole, just for all the wisdom and wisdom streams that you're bringing and you embody, and all of us here. And, I think there's this motif that we're talking about here of this being a dream long held, to bring this earth treasure vase to Delphi at this particular moment in history, at this time. And, this power of the oracular presence that comes through the feminine voice, the feminine part of ourselves, whether we're a male or a female. These re-evocation of the both temples of the earth, but the ethereal presence of the awakened voice of the feminine is so powerful. And as Cynthia and Nikole have spoken to, there's a place where it always just is. And we can talk of it as being quieted. We can talk of it as being lost. But there is an isness, and it's our birthright. And I feel like this pilgrimage and journey will allow us the gift of going and giving reverence to places that many of us, as you so beautifully said, Nikole, know in our bones, know in the essence of our DNA, know in our collective transmigrational memory. And I feel as we put our feet to the earth and as we sing our songs, as we cry our tears, and I love seeing, just looking out here with some of you, had tears coming down. As we wet the earth with our tears, we're going to be awakening that voice that runs through each of us in multiple forms, in song, in books, in weavings, in storytelling, and technologies, and business. The scene in the Gaia Codex, which evokes the oracle, was so vivid for me. And, sometimes as writers, many of you probably are writers, and you're dream writers and evokers. it came down, and when all of you, or when you read it, it came clear. I would go back to tweak it, but it was just there. And I want to be respectful of our time today, so I won't read it tonight, but it was the reawakening of the oracular voice coming to life here. So in that, and in this time, so in that spirit, and in the spirit and the prayer of Gaia, and the spirit and the prayer of our collective wisdom and efforts, in the spirit of that knowing that is there, waiting for us to touch into and let stream through and awaken as the Pythia, as the python, as the serpent, as the kundalini inside of us to speak. I give gratitude, and I give reverence, and I wish for us a deeply protected, deeply illuminating journey that will ripple out and benefit many beings over time. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. I can feel the quickening again, and the transmission that you offer to all of us to remember and to embody our own knowing. So it's time to go into the meditation. And tonight we have Julian Silburn to lead us into the meditation, through the meditation, and to take us deeper into the meditation through the sound of his instrument, the didjeridu. So as we often do, I would invite you to turn off your video for the period of the meditation so that we can really go within, and let's do so with the awareness that we are forming a relationship to Gaia right now. We've been working on this for many years with these practices here. And now it's a deepening into this remembering and knowing. So we'll enjoy your guidance, Julian. Thank you so much. And on the other end of this, we'll open the treasure vase for Delphi, for your prayers.
Thank you. Let's begin by taking a few deep breaths. Breathing in and out, deep and slow. Feel your body relax. Sense the ground beneath you, holding you, offering stability and calm. Your roots reaching deep down into the earth. Breathing in and breathing out, drawing up through your taproot the nourishing energies and life force of Mother Earth, which she gives freely and generously to you. Letting thoughts of the past and concerns for the future melt away. This is a precious moment in deep communion with the stabilizing, nourishing energies of Mother Earth. Connect to the vastness of the whole Earth, feeling your connection to each of the elementals. The Earth. Sense the depth and loving presence of the whole Earth underneath you. Connecting to the water, contemplating the vastness of the water that surrounds our Mother Ocean Earth, including all the rivers, snow, stream and sacred water places close to you and afar. Sense the fire in the core of the earth and the vastness of this fire energy that even has its own orbit within the earth. Sense the air and the vastness of our atmosphere. Sense the alchemy of all these elementals within you and within the earth. And from this place of being deeply rooted and grounded, we open up to the light above, feeling the warmth upon us from the sun and moon and stars glistening, feeling expansive as we connect with the vast energies of the cosmos, rooted below, connected above, in this present moment, breathing. And now let's feel our connectedness to this special place you sit on the planet right now. Feel your relationship to the soils, stones, waterways, the forests, flowers, the communities of life who call these habitat their home, just like you, and who also receive stability and nourishment from Mother Earth and the warmth of the sun and moon, just like you. In this present moment, in this special place, we acknowledge those who have come before. We acknowledge the original ancestors of the indigenous peoples of the lands we inhabit, who have been in sacred relationship with our lands for countless generations. We acknowledge the future ancestors of this land who will continue to hold this land as sacred for countless generations to come. And we humbly invite all of them to bless us and our practice in this present moment. Let's also call upon all of our sources of inspiration, our own ancestors, elders, teachers and guides, lineage masters, Buddhas, bodhisattvas and wisdom beings that we feel connected to, and invite them all to be present with us now. Invite their blessings to enter you and everybody who is present for this meditation, and receive the blessing of their love, support, guidance, healing and clarity. As this blessing enters you, feel this love and caring coming all the way into your deepest heart of hearts, and breathe it in, and breathing out, send this love to everybody who is present in this circle, and breathing in, receive the love that is being sent, and breathing out, sending like the ebb and flow of a gentle tides, washing blessings amongst us in this circle. Gradually expanding your focus to include all of your friends, family and community, and all of those who this practice may serve. Imagine our circle gradually growing from our home, neighborhood, bioregion, country and continent to include all beings in all places everywhere, embracing the whole planet with our love. Breathing in, breathing out, blessing the whole planet. Now with this feeling of rootedness below, expansiveness above, and waves of love flowing from your heart, let's turn our awareness to those who are suffering, the places where there is war, poverty, disease, pollution, droughts or floods or fires, wherever the need for healing is very great, and breathe in this suffering. And breathing out, send your love and caring to relieve the suffering of the earth, her people and all life all around the whole planet. Imagine that where there is hunger, great nourishing gardens begin to grow. Where there is thirst, fresh clean waterways spring up. Where there are unhoused, safe shelters are built. Where there is war and conflict, choirs of peace echo in the hills. Where there is sickness, vital health is celebrated. And aware of where the earth is unstable, in danger, or out of balance in any way, imagine a restoration of balanced power, bringing protection and regeneration as you hear the song lines of the land sing in great harmonies. Now see the generosity and reciprocity in communities of life flowing freely, seeing the beauty and riches of nature flowering into abundance for the sustenance of life, revitalizing this radiant blue-green planet we call home. And as we hold this glowing vision of Mother Earth, we call into our awareness the presence of the earth treasure vases that have been planted or in the process of being planted all around the world. Let us imagine that together we are pouring our love and caring in the form of light into each and every little clay pot buried in the body of Mother Earth, filling each vase with our deepest prayers and blessings for healing. Imagine each treasure vases radiating light in every direction, sending healing and protective energies wherever it is needed, in whatever form it is needed. See the light like a rainbow streaming forth from each of the vases, white, yellow, red, blue, green, and all the colors in between. And breathing in and breathing out, allow the feeling of caring and compassion in your heart of hearts to grow. Send that love out in the form of light to all the people, animals, plants, and places that are connected to the earth treasure vases that need healing and protection in the past, in the present, and in the future. Beginning at the center of the Earth Treasure Vase Global Healing Mandala in a cave above Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, the birthplace of the atomic bomb, and to the north at the source of the Rio Grande River in Creede, Colorado, to the south at the mouth of the Rio Grande at the Gulf of Mexico, to the east on top of Mount Baldy above Santa Fe, and to the west to Mount Chicuma, known as Sicamou, to the Tewa people of New Mexico, the custodians of the sacred lands where this mandala began. And now, having established the center and the four directions, see the mandala growing in every direction. To the Indian Point Nuclear Reservation on the Hudson River in New York, to the headwaters old-growth redwood forest in Northern California, the Punta Cometa on the ocean of Oaxaca, Mexico, Vilcabamba, Ecuador, Jakova, Kosovo, the Lawrence Laboratory at the University of California, Berkeley, the Dao Forest on the border of Thailand and Burma, the village of In Karem in Israel, Palestine, Hiroshima, Japan, the cloisters in New York City after 9/11, the Biosphere 2 in Oracle, Arizona, the Martin Luther King Freedom Center in Oakland, California, the source of the Ganges in India, the source of the Amazon in Peru, in Southern Pacific Ocean, 93 feet down in Igum Atoll, the Trobriand Islands, Papua New Guinea, the Arctic Circle, Alaska, the Kogi lands of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, Colombia, Tilawayan Village, Lofa County, Wandjama District, Liberia, West Africa, the Blyde River Canyon, Limpopo Province, South Africa, the Giza Plateau, Egypt, Haleakala, Maui, Hawaii, the Ntombu Forest, South Kivu Province, Democratic Republic of Congo, Avebury, England, Bindaluk, Jawan Country, Catherine, Northern Territory, Australia. and the second generation of earth treasure vases in Gubernmung, Arnhem Land, Australia. The Mackenzie, King Park, Ottawa River Valley, Ottawa, Gatineau, Canada. The original garden in Findhorn, Scotland. The Great Stupa of Bourdanuth in Kathmandu, Nepal. The Flint Hills of Kansas in the heartland of America. The Santa Cruz Mountains near Silicon Valley, California. The Valles Caldera of northern New Mexico. Punalulu, Bungle Bungles, the Kimberley, Australia. The village Utuyagvik at the edge of the sea in northernmost Arctic Alaska. The Hanford Nuclear Reservation on shores of the Columbia River in the state of Washington. Mount Ryazan above Fukushima, Japan. And back to where it all began at the cave hermitage of Charok, Nepal. To Margibi County, Liberia, in the base of an old ironbark tree on Ditawul Mountain in the Budawang wilderness of Walbunja country, Yuin Nation, southeastern Australia, and to our root temple, Tola Gompa in Nepal, the Munza Valley in Turkey, Serpent Mound in Ohio, the Ashaninka spiritual portal, Campo do Rio Harmonia indigenous land, Amazon forest in Brazil, in the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea, the Arhuaco lands in the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, Colombia, on the inner rim of the Akaroa volcano in Te Waiponamu, South Island, Aotearoa, New Zealand, and the third generation of earth treasure vases, Antarctica, the Isle of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides, Scotland, the Saugatuck Dunes on Lake Michigan in the USA, and to the Highwood Valley in the Canadian Rockies in Alberta, Canada, southeastern Turtle Island, US, Shakonaj, Tennessee, on the shores of Lake Washington and Kirkland, Washington, close to the first COVID hotspot in the USA. And now we turn our attention to the 25 second and third generation vases that have been dedicated, are currently in the hands of their stewards, gathering prayers and offerings. And the 11 second generation vases still waiting their dedication, sitting with the mother vase on the altar. And we just put our attention on that site in the temple of Delphi. Once again, take a deep, slow in-breath and a deep, slow out-breath. And imagine all that is needed to relieve the suffering of the earth can be seen as light, radiating out from each of the earth treasure vases all around the whole planet in every direction. Imagine this healing light flowing out from the vases, filling the whole global earth treasure vase mandala with the powerful energies of our love and our caring. See this healing force traveling through the songlines and meridians of the earth, flowing into each location on the global mandala. See the mandala like a web of light embracing the whole planet. Feel the light flowing back and forth like waves from your heart to the earth treasure vases, energizing them and adding vitality and brilliance to the light that is then flowing out to the whole area in the sphere of influence of each of the earth treasure vases. Now imagine this light flowing into your own location, your special spot in nature, and feel the collective spiritual intelligence of the entire global earth treasure vase mandala activating your node on the global healing mandala and entering you as a holy vessel. Finally, please focus your concentration one-pointedly on bringing healing and protection to the whole earth for all time. See the healing and protection radiating out from all the vases around the earth and in waves of light flowing forth endlessly. And imagine that the healing is accomplished and the vitality of the earth is completely restored. Now recognizing the great interconnected web that is life on earth, of which we are all a part, let's give thanks for this precious, sacred time and pray that the compassion and peace that is our true condition may bring supreme happiness and benefit to the earth and to all beings. With another deep, slow in-breath and deep, slow out-breath, let's bring our awareness back to our body, feeling our feet on the floor, grounded on the earth in our own location, and wiggling our toes, opening our eyes and returning to the circle for sharing.
So I have here the treasure vase for Delphi. And she is dressed in her initiation gown, which is an old headband that was worn like this for dances that I got when I was 15 in Greece, and a God's eye that I wore around my neck when I was that age, which is also in her, around her neck now. So I would, I'll open her up, this little holy vessel, like all of those other holy vessels that have been planted in all of those amazing locations around the planet to form this unbelievably vast global healing mandala of places where our prayers have been planted over all this time. So this little being is very alive now, and she's very happy to be presented to the wider community tonight. And she is open to receiving whatever prayers and offerings you might like to bring forward. And remember that this is a time of ceremony. This is a time of deep prayer, and any stories or Nikole, help me. You were going to say something about this.
Yeah, just a really gentle reminder of the intention of the sharing space. Sometimes we feel longer stories or announcements or things we want people to know about rise up inside of us. And we just want to create that space of discernment where some things can go onto the mandala for announcements and certain sharings. And this is a moment to really presence the vase and be present with our relationship and offerings to the vase. So we just wanted to place that gentle reminder out here about the intention of this shared space.
Yeah, thanks, Nikole. So dropping into that deep place that we've just been in, thanks to Julian's amazing sounds and the invocation that was given. If you feel you would like to share, you can either raise your hand or unmute yourself, and either Nikole or I will call on you. Starting with you, Ray, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you both. Well, all three of you so much, and Julian as well. I would just like to offer gratitude for the grace and beauty of the oracles that I believe we have never completely lost, in spite of all of the oppression. And gratitude for her adornment this evening, Cynthia. That's so beautiful. And it brings the actual place, I feel, it brings Delphi more closely to us, having her decorated with your own beautiful things. So gratitude for grace and beauty, and offerings for more and more grace and beauty to flower with you as you all take the vase and bury it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ray. May it be so. Ellen Davidson.
Whales, the quickening and activating of our human capacity to, God, I don't even know how to say it. Their songs quickening and activating our understanding, the potential of that. I want to put that in the vase.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you so much. Julie Rains.
Hello, beloveds. Long time no see. Feels like a long time. For me, I just want to put joy sparkles just along every thread that gets reconnected, and for it to buzz and just to energize, to enliven everything that we are doing. Absolutely everything. And for all of this to move through our beautiful, beautiful, precious mother.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. May it be so. Wendy Dudley.
I would like to offer the hummingbird, the joy of life, and for hummingbird in this beautiful Delphi vase to remind us all that no matter what, to drink the nectar of life and the sweetness, to find the sweetness wherever we can. And you can't put a hummingbird into a vase without putting in bee balm and echinacea and all sorts of healing flowers for the butterflies and the hummingbirds, and for us to also enjoy. So that is my offering to this precious, precious vase. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. And for your tears, I'd like to also rub them around the mouth of this vase, because those are, and may they water the seeds that you have just planted. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Harriet.
Oh, Harriet, we can't hear you. Can you unmute?
I forgot. Thank you. I want to put into the vase the clear light of the moon, as the moon came up on this beautiful, clear, cold, clear, crisp day, and Maryland. It was just brilliant. It cast a shadow as I was walking. It was behind me and I could see my shadow of the moonlight. And I'd like to take that beautiful, pure, radiant light of the moon and put it into the vase for eternity.
Mm. 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 Thank you, Harriet. All the phases of the moon, blessing and enlightening this little holy vessel. Yeah. Hi, Laura Lynn, woman of the dark.
Oh, hello. Is it really dark in here? I would like to offer my gratitude into this vase for Delphi for all of the ways that Gaia has sustained all of the banished daughters over the generations. May these connections continue to bring joy to the women who find themselves in a place where they need to work by themselves with the nature spirits, and then the joy that they find when they connect and see their temples restored in all ways. Thank you so much for all of this, and may these blessings multiply for all of the feminine attributes of all living beings for all time.
Oh, thank you. May it be so. Leslie Meehan.
I offer joy and delight and visions of this beautiful vase leading. I'm seeing all the different women and creatures imagined in the Gaia Codex coming with the vase leading them, us, to Delphi, to usher in, to birth the heart of a new time on the planet of honoring Gaia. And may we find joy in that dance and that healing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Leslie. Yes, may it be so. Maggie Kaplan.
I want to offer the deep, deep sound of the feminine wisdom and compassion and strength and goodness that comes through, and to the vase that's going to Delphi.
Mm. And may we each find that within ourselves in all the forms, and whether we're in a feminine body or not. That, as Sarah said, the feminine in us all. Yeah. Thank you, Maggie. Lauren Hills.
Hi. The vision of the moon led me to see the maidens, the Greek maidens and priestesses dancing under the moon. And suddenly I felt the blood of my womb, although it doesn't run anymore. I want to offer my wise blood to the vase and to the women so that we may nourish ourselves with life-giving blood, the blood that helps life flourish and restore the magnificence of women as priestesses and guides. And when Nikole spoke about it, it was okay to be public and nobody, that was acceptable. may those times arrive again. And that's what I would like to put into the vase.
Thank you, Lauren. Truly. I just see that Sarah has sent a message. Just wondering if you're still there, Sarah. I'm checking it looks like maybe Sarah did have to go. I was going to invite her to share another word before she left. But anyway, for those of you who are moved to wanting to join the Hive dreaming calls, Sarah will be with us for those. So yes, Julian and Sophie.
Thank you. So Sophie's going to go first.
It's a prayer I wrote last night. May beings all over the planet wake in the middle of the night or be struck in the broad light of day with an overwhelming sense of joy and anticipation of a vision of a restored new world order, where the energies of kindness, love and compassion, equality, cooperation, respect and inclusion reign supreme and resonate and vibrate throughout all time, space and dimensions, anchoring here on earth as truth. May these beneficial energies born of the sacred feminine Gaia function as the governing and singular guiding force, influencing the organization of all major global institutions, political, financial, commercial, and religious. May old, outdated and archaic structures and paradigms crumble, and the new yet ancient organizing principles of Gaia flourish. May we share in the dreaming of a better world and great change, many blessings and deep reverence for our Mother Gaia.
Alalaho. Yes.
Yeah, and it was when Sophie wrote that, it reminded me of a dream I had when I was not a dream, a vision, when I was 19, and I was standing on the top of this hill, and there were these columns like an ancient old temple, and it had, you know, it was sort of still a bit like how the Delphi temple is now, and there were these Aboriginal men, and I was like, what are they doing? They're standing on top of these pillars on the sort of, there was like a roof, and then there were these pillars and all marble, and I was just, that's strange that they're there. And then from under their feet, the whole structure just crumbled, and they came down, but they literally just remained standing straight, and they just walked out of the rubble, and they walked towards me, and there were three of them, and two went on one side, one went on the other side, and there was a hillside, and they literally just all formed this flowing presence like water, and they just flowed down this hillside. And then the next second I saw that they were just standing and just walking off into the distance. And I've had that vision or that dream for so many years, and I really feel like this is the time where this is happening, and that the old structures and the old ways of dominating and, you know, dominating nature and displacing nature and putting selfish sort of agendas ahead of the natural earth. It's like all those ways of doing it, it's reaching this time where it's ready to change. So my prayer is that all this medicine of these Indigenous people that maybe could see this time coming, that all of the power and strength of all these Indigenous people that really want to see the sacredness of the earth and the feminine, the Mother Earth, nature restored and celebrated, and and assisted, may this vase really bring that, be an incredible catalyst for that change.
Mm.
And something at the beginning I mentioned, that in the earth there's this core of the earth and it has its own separate rotate. It actually rotates, and I didn't know that. And they're saying that at this time now, and it happens about every 70 years, it changes direction. And we're in the midst of that right now. And apparently it doesn't affect things in a detrimental way, but we're at this time where there is a turning point and the energies are spinning a different way. So the prayer is that this brings about that change. Thank you.
Mm. Beautiful. May it be so. Yeah. Thank you so much, both of you, for your vision and your care, your deep love. It's such good medicine. This is the good medicine. Share here. Yeah. Susan.
So into the vase, I would like to put the wisdom of our elders, and that we are able to tap more into their wisdom as we go forward. And I can see that bringing the vase there will help touch that. My grandparents came from Calabria, Italy, and I also want to put into the vase, because I was thinking of my grandmother, a lot of needlepoint and hand sewing work, has a lot of knowledge and wisdom in it. And whenever you are sewing, you come from above and go through the fabric and then go down to the earth and then bring the energy of the earth up. And it's a meditative practice. And I am in touch with a beautiful young woman who does light codes. And so what I was working on before, this is, she calls it the Gaia healing code. And, I believe that she channels it from the stars. And this is green and blue, and there's gold. I mean, it's probably a little hard to see, but moons. So I put this Gaia healing code and honor her and her lineage and through me and into this. And I decided to make it in a circle, and I'll have green on the outside. So it's green and blue, just like the earth. And so I put the sacredness of the stitching and the thread into the vase. And as I look at the vase, there's a lot of needlework within that. And so that too is old and passed down. And I also want to point out that throughout time, like the slaves, they would make quilts and stuff, and hidden within that would be the route to their freedom. And so these are the kind of things that, have happened when women weren't able to speak. They found other ways and other means of praying and connecting with the earth and signaling, and even cornrows. I don't know if you know that, but they used to use those to say, should we go east or west? How the direction. So just a lot of, again, ancestral knowledge. May that go into the vase, and may it reawaken within each of us these knowings and these ways of communicating beyond words, because we are moving more into a time where it's beyond words. So, yes.
Thank you so much, Susan. Wow, that is really beautiful. I'd love to be in touch with you offline. So please reach out. I don't know that I know how to reach you. I'll send you my information.
Yeah, I'm like in that Mandala Mighty
Mighty
it called?
Networks. Yeah, it's the mandala in Mighty Networks. So please find me there, and
Okay.
I'll love to say something to you offline. Thank you so much. Now, I'd like to ask you to come forward, Julie. Yeah.
Blessings, everyone. What I am aware of is an image that came to me of, you know, Gaia, the divine feminine, sort of coming out of hiding and strong, but, you know, bleeding and bruised. And what I want to offer into the vase is the strength of our, like I picture, you know, putting our arms out and around her and, you know, letting her know that she's safe and remembered. And I wanted also to put into the vase the protection of smoky quartz. That felt like an important thing to put in. And also the wisdom of a pair of hawks that I saw today. I feel like that was an auspicious thing to bring, continue to bring here. A pair of hawks who flew together above and sort of hovered together and then went to this beautiful tree and perched together. And I feel like there's something, the protection and the wisdom and the oversight, like just again, the recognition together for Gaia, and particularly part of the mandala, to know the protection and the, you know, that overview is there. That's all I can say.
That was a good effort to bring words to what is so hard to say. Thanks so much, Julie. Yeah. The vase is receiving all of this. And Heidi, would you like to share next?
Thank you, everyone, for all of your sharing. I would like to just offer the drum beat, and with the drum beat, our own heartbeats, to actually bring life back through our hearts, through a collective heart, back, centering, allowing what needs to happen through the human heartbeat, which is part of Gaia's heartbeat. And that's what I would like to offer, is that living heartbeat that unites us with the stars, with each other, and with all beings of the planet. So, thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Heidi. Yeah. Caraway seed.
Hello, thank you. I resonated with so many of these shares, including the heartbeat one, very much. What I want to bring is during the didgeridoo, the beautiful didgeridoo of Julian, I had to dance. I couldn't help myself. Like in my chair, first I was dancing, but then I had to get on my feet and dance. And it was a very healing kind of dance. There was some joy and some pain and a lot of healing in the movement for me. And so I want to offer the awakening of the dance and the medicine of the dance into the felt sense of that. And also the breath, because after that experience, I've noticed that as I've listened and been present, my breath is so much more alive in me and so much more full in me than normally, especially in the recent stresses of these times. And so I also offer the healing breath into the vase. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Yes. Laura Feldman.
This vase is so appealing to me on so many levels, and mostly because it is, she is in her way an oracle, the word, the powerful medium, Pythia, who prophesized and translated from the gods, earth, however you want to imagine that. I just think the word is very powerful. And I think an oracle is very powerful. And I think women have been oracling for many, 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 many moons. And I want to offer this into this vase the best of my oracle, my words, my stewardship, that which drives me, inspires me to speak for the earth in the way that I am called to do so as an activist. And that's a deep and powerful voice. I know it is. It's imperfect, but it's deep and it's powerful. And I want to add that to the space.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for your activism and your capacity to speak out. Yeah. Maggie and Ava, welcome.
Welcome. The beloved vase, I greet you, and I would love to put in an unwounding of all the hurt on, and a beautiful songline to all the words that were there. Songs weaving in there to the standing up of the feminine in all of us and believing in ourselves, loving ourselves. I want to bring that into the vase, and may Delphi just accept that in glory. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have no doubt.
My deep honor. A lot of you have expressed what's in my heart. So may that's been expressed be double enfolded into the vase. From my own being at this stage, there's actually a fire. It has an outrage in it. So it's drawing that outrage, but I also see a mighty woman goddess figure who is the fire, who is a sacred fire. So I ask that this sacred fire become a transforming, transmuting fire, that any of the depths of the suffering that's been carried for so long can just turn into beautiful ash. And that ash can be offered into the vase as holy ash that is there, that the consequence of the long awaiting be graciously dismissed.
Mm.
May the fire, holy fire, burn.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Graciously dismissed. Yeah. Welcome, Stephen Comey.
Hello. Thank you for all the other sharings. I'm resonating with everyone as well. And that was beautiful, Maggie. Thank you. I guess because this vase is going to Delphi, I would like to put into the vase the 3 Delphic maxims, which were carved on the doors and pillars and walls of Delphi. The first one, probably you already know, it's Gnosi Selton, which means know thyself. But to me, all 3 of them, especially this one, they're about balance. Know yourself. Know that whether you're in a male body or a female body, we both have male and female aspects of each other, of ourselves. And we need to have those come into balance. You know, even if you're the president of some company or some country, you still need to have full access to your feminine side, and vice versa, you know. The second one is Meden Agan, which means nothing in excess. It's still talking about balance in my point of view.
Wendy,
So,
yes, holy fire.
so,
Very, she's written.
So nothing in excess. Yeah. Again, having balance. And the third one, most people haven't heard of this one. The third one is Engia Paradata, which means certainty leads to insanity. So in other words, always be open that there is probably another way. You know, just don't, as soon as you're certain about something, that leads to the wrong path. So I would like to put all 3 of these into the vase, and with the idea that I hope that it brings balance to the male-female battle that's been going on for so long, that we can come to some not only balance within each of ourselves, but as a species, and that we can live in balance not only with the earth but with all other creatures. So that's the prayer that I would like to put into this phase.
Thank you. I'm so glad you did. Yeah, we need that prayer. We need all of that. Thanks, Stephen. Deep bow. Valeria. Ciao bella.
Buonasera a tutti. Good evening. Good morning, maybe. And thank you for the introductions. And what I saw during the meditation, and thank you for all the prayers, because I felt all of them. And while I was meditating, I saw all the mandala points, like bringing down and anchoring, and this is what I wish to offer to this vase, this new light vibration, and that is meeting the other old one, and they're dancing and healing and transforming, so that the vibration will change and ease the path and really dissolve all that is still dueling in the suffering, so that it is really an easy process. And I feel that this vase will really help, especially for what is for all the stories of the women that came before us, and so that we can really honor them because of what they suffered, not because, and we honor and bow to them because they opened the path, and they learned and they offered all that they could to us. And so that we can now be able to celebrate because of that, with lightness.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Let's celebrate. Let's make this offering and then let's celebrate. And herald in this new time that is here now, or we wouldn't be here now doing this, right? Michelle?
Oh, it's exciting to feel that sense of old coming alive in new ways, or what had a form is coming into new form. And so I'm this whole time had a sense of water and fluidity, and the lemniscate is movement. It's nonstop. I mean, out of the stuck of trauma, when we're stuck in the patterns that someone else has laid on us, and strictures and postures that we've been forced into, how do we come out? Movement. And so that the sense of, and then the sense of the light on the water as messaging. There's just these messages to receive. To me, it has been, it just flashes. I guess flashes is what I've been sensing. So to honor the light and play with the water and those flashes that we receive from being part of all this. And then the sense of the water. The other day I was sensing into the water element, because this is the yin that has been so denigrated, that the watery way. And it's the innocent way that's so close to earth. And so the sense of, and these words came to me, sensing water, and then the way water brings life. Water is life. So I am the one, she says through me, I am the one who runs low and deep as earth allows, who carves canyons with fluid ease, who calls forth fissures which open new worlds, who generates growth and the burgeoning reach, who forms clouds that carry the moisture of life and are moved by heavenly currents in elemental interplay. I am the one who forms and reforms. Maybe so. Ongoing. Moving on.
Wow. I'm taking that in. Thanks, Michelle. I'm adding my breath on behalf of all that has been shared. I saw some of you had hands up and don't now. I see that you're unmuted. Laura Lynn, did you want to say something more? No? Is there anyone else who feels called to adding your breath?
This is Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Hi. I would like to add the image of the rainbow serpent that came to me recently that I painted, and the that unadulterated, beautiful energy that has the power to move and heal and transform us all, and that circulates throughout the mandala and the planet, connecting all of our nodes. And the dreaming seeds that were initiated with the serpent mound, and just a continuation of that primordial, beautiful unfolding. So the regenerative powers of the earth, or regenerative powers, I'd like to add that to the vase.
Mm. Mm. Thank you. Thank you, Allison. It's great to hear your voice from somewhere out there, adding your special connection to this vase into this ceremony. Yeah. Maybe you can post a picture of the rainbow serpent in the mandala. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay. Thank you, my dear. I wanted to ask you to maybe offer some concluding thoughts and prayers, Nikole, but I see that Professor Daya Shankar has a hand raised, so maybe you'd like to add your breath to the vase. Yeah.
I offer my gratitude to God, give people a good mind and a good path to save our earth, water, and mountains, what God has created for the human being, and we should not fight against each other, and we should do our work for the humanity and human being. We also offer to God my prayer to God, give a good idea not to pollute our lifeline, air, water, and food, so that people can survive. Our earth is and the whole universe is very beautiful, and we should enjoy this. God may give good mind to all people. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. It's wonderful to hear your voice into the vase. Thank you. Oh, wow. What a beautiful, rich circle we've had. Nikole.
I can offer a couple of my prayers tonight. One that arises for me is healing the global sisterhood. You know, the oracle at Delphi was one of many oracle sites across Northern Africa, and again, Western Asia and the Middle East and Southern Italy. There were a network of oracular sites of the Sibyls, of all different skin tones and all different races and ethnicities. And so I just want to pray for a healing there amongst all women, and our voices together. And I have this, it's landing in a kind of cartoonish way, but this sense of the superiority complex that shows up in Western civilization, and that can show up in the gender dynamic and all these different dynamics, this force, this energetic force of this idea of superiority, that whenever it shows up in the nervous system, whatever fear or sense of threat that causes one to move towards that sense of superiority, that it just disappears. Like if a balloon gets inflated, it just deflates. It's got nothing to hold on to, nothing to cling to, and it's just a dropping in the heart. So whenever a nervous system starts to move towards that, it just drops into the heart and sees the divine being standing in front of them, and their dignity, the mutual dignity, the equity of, and the value of each voice in that circle and in that space and in that, whether it's a boardroom of decision making, whether it's a community process, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a family, that the drop into the heart just happens spontaneously, effortlessly. And the reclamation of finding our voice when we know that we need to place a boundary for what is true and good and right. The place where the fear shows up, that our courage rises in that heartbeat. We feel that heartbeat that Heidi mentioned, and our connection to all life, and that we find our voice in those moments through our sense of connectedness to the unity of life, through our heartbeat. And finally, loving our bodies, a love for our body. Something that happened in Western civilization is the superiority of the mind and the cognition, and relearning the language of our embodied wisdom that doesn't lie. It's so true, and it's Gaia. It's our container. It's our vessel, and that this strange campaign against it, and especially with, well, it's with men and women, the images and the ways that the seeds of discontent that are planted, they just have nothing feeds them. Nothing feeds those seeds. And we awaken a deep love again for our bodies and deep care. And the feminine mysteries, the blood mysteries that we move through in our lives, being something of joy and of richness and of power and celebration. Again, not a medicalized condition, but something that holds deep mystery, that can be awakened in the young women in the coming generations. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you, all of you, sisters, brothers, aunties, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers, babies yet to be born. Well, personally, I just feel so moved and happy to be sharing this with so many of you, to have come to this moment where collectively we can make this offering, and to have the capacity to do that in these times. Like I said a little minute ago, like we wouldn't be here unless it was time, unless we were ready for the balance to be lived, and balance amongst us all beings in relationship to all life has been my deepest prayer from the beginning of this great walk around the planet. So may it be so for each and every prayer and offering and wish and dream that has been shared here tonight. Gaia, Mother Earth, Mother Nature is so highly creative that when all of these expressions come forward, and take so many different forms. It is a thrill to see, because when we do this, we are participating in restoring the web of life creatively. Each of us has a gift. And so we pour our gifts into this little vessel, that it may be planted in the earth, in that amazing place on the slopes of Mount Parnassus. We can't bury it right at Delphi, but we're going to bury it up on that mountain and call in all the forces that we possibly can to bring goddess speed for the big change that we're in the midst of now, for balance to be restored in all the ways that are called for harmony, for creativity, for peace, for restoration. And on and on and on. We will sing, we will dance, we will drum, and we will dive into the waters of the Mediterranean with this little one. So if any of you are still are thinking you might be called, there are a few more places, just a few. So let us know if you are interested in joining us very soon. But in the meantime, thank you, thank you, thank you. May all of our prayers ripple out to bring benefit to the earth and to all beings. And may they return back to each of you for the healing that you need in your lives. And we do that work of healing for the sake of all beings. And round it goes. So find us on the mandala, find each other on the mandala to share more. We'll post the recording, we'll send it out. We'll also post the chat, and whatever else comes, you know, this is alive. This space is alive now, and it's awaiting your continued activation. Thank you so much. See you next month. Alalaho.
Alalaho.